Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. Today, we're diving deep into the world of tactical FPS games, specifically the really intense battlegrounds of Valorant. We've got some fantastic insights here drawn from Valorant, dominating strategies for victory. Honestly, it's packed with wisdom. Our mission, simple. We want to pull out those crucial nuggets, the knowledge that can really transform your gameplay. It doesn't matter if you're just starting out or trying to sharpen those already sharp skills. This isn't just about reaction time. It's about getting the game's strategic depth. Now, before we really jump in, if you find this valuable, and we think you will, you can get loads more great info like this over at Mind Expansion Daily. Seriously, check them out. And while you're thinking about it, we'd really appreciate it if you could hit that like button and subscribe to Mind Expansion Daily. Helps us a lot, helps us reach more people like you. Also, if you're really digging what we share, maybe consider buying us a coffee. The link's right down there in the description. Every little bit helps keep these deep dives going. Oh, and as we go through these strategies, definitely leave a comment. Tell us, do you agree? Disagree? We love hearing your takes on these tactics. And yeah, tell us where you're tuning in from. We're aiming to grow this community worldwide, so knowing where you are is awesome.
Okay, yeah. And what's really fascinating about Valorant right from the start is how strategy often just trumps raw skill. The sources really hammer this home. You need to function like a well-oiled machine. It's not just a saying. It's built right into the game's core, the economy, the rounds.
That's such a key point. I know when I started, effective teamwork was, well, it's a struggle. It's so different from other shooters where maybe one really good player can carry. Valorant feels like it actively punishes that solo mentality.
It does, and not just by losing rounds, which is obvious, but the economic impact is huge. One person making a selfish buy decision can mess up the team's economy for rounds to come. Plus, without coordination, abilities get wasted. Sometimes they even hurt your own team, Think of abilities as puzzle pieces.
Right, and without talking, you're just throwing them around hoping they fit.
Exactly.
So communication, it's the backbone, like the guide says. Callouts, what utility you're using, coordinating pushes. It's make or break stuff. But what does good communication sound like in the middle of a chaotic round?
Well, it's about being clear and concise, even when things are hectic. Like, there's a world of difference between yelling, "They're over there," and saying, "Two a main, one has a vandal." It's about actionable intel. And also saying, "Smoking long in 3," so your jet knows exactly when to dash in.
And it's more than just callouts, right? It's understanding your role, your agent's job in the team comp. How does your agent fit with the others? That seems critical.
Totally. The guide shows that real team power comes from that synergy. A sentinel like, say, Sage or Cypher, they don't just hold a site. Their utility creates safe zones, defensive layers. That lets duelists like Jett or Reyna be more aggressive, knowing their flank is watched or a heal might be coming.
It's about making the whole thing work together.
Sure.
Everyone playing their part.
Precisely.
So for you listening, are you really using your team? Good comms, understand your role. Something to think about.
Definitely. But, even the best communication needs a foundation. And that's map knowledge. It's like the shared language everyone needs. Each map haven, bind, split, all of them, they have unique layouts, choke points, sneaky hiding spots. Knowing these gives you a massive edge.
A shared language. I like that. So nailing the callouts, knowing C long versus C short on Haven, that's step one. It makes reactions so much faster. But how does knowing the map translate beyond just names? How does it help you, control the game?
It's about predicting things. Pre-aiming, the guide points out if you know common routes, common defensive spots, like on Bind, people often lurk in hookah or showers. So you can pre-aim those spots before you peek, or, use utility to clear it without even showing yourself. It lets you dictate the fight.
It's huge. The sources definitely suggest spending time in custom games, just exploring, running around, learning angles, sightlines. I remember doing that on Split for hours. And yet watching pros helps massively too. You see how they use the space.
It does. So connecting it all, map knowledge isn't just memorizing stuff. It's predicting, reacting, and really controlling the game's flow. It underpins everything else.
Okay, so teamwork, map knowledge, vital. But we can't ignore individual skills. Your aim, your movement, they matter hugely in those one-on-one fights.
They absolutely do. It's not about choosing one over the other, teamwork or individual skill. It's about integrating them. Aiming in Valorant needs that precision, that consistency. One missed shot, you probably lose the duel. The source stresses, beyond just raw practice, is crosshair placement. Always aiming head level before you even see anyone.
Yeah, that's something I definitely had to learn. Aiming at chest height is just not optimal.
It cuts down crucial milliseconds. You make them react to you.
So practice is key. The range aim trainers like AimLab or Kovacs, the guide mentions those. What about movement, though? That feels tricky in Valorant.
Movement is super important because the game punishes being sloppy. Running and gunning, forget it. Your accuracy tanks. The key is learning to counter-strafe. That quick tap on the opposite movement key stops you instantly, lets you fire accurately. It's fundamental.
And then there are more advanced things. The guide mentions jiggle peeking, crouch spraying. How do those give you an edge?
Right, so jiggle peeking is that quick in and out peek. You gather info, maybe bait a shot, but you don't fully commit, low risk. Crouch spraying can make your hitbox smaller for a moment, harder to hit, and sometimes tightens your spray pattern up close. Little things like that, mastering them. They can absolutely win you duels by messing with enemy aim and improving yours.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. These micro skills, the tiny aim and movement adjustments, that feels like the gap between good and dominant.
It is. The guide kind of frames it as building muscle memory that's guided by strategy. The dominant player isn't just faster. They've practiced these things so much they're automatic. Frees up their brain for the bigger picture rotations, economy, predicting the enemy.
Freeing up cognitive load. Makes sense.
So you have the individual skills, but Valorant matches are so dynamic. Opponents switch things up, play aggressive, play passive, which means you have to be flexible. You need to adapt. That's the next big piece.
Yeah, you can't just run the same play every round. If the other team is constantly pushing hard, maybe you switch to a sentinel, lock things down. If they're playing super slow, maybe your duelist needs to force the issue, break their setup. How do you know when to switch things up mid-game?
It's about watching for patterns, asking yourself, okay, what's not working here? If you keep hitting a wall trying to take a site, maybe next half someone switches to Sova for recon or Breach to just blast them out. It's also about being unpredictable yourself.
And this ties into something often missed, right? Economy management. It's huge. The team's cash pool dictates everything. How often do you, the listener, actually think about the whole team's bank account?
Probably not enough. The guide is really clear. One person buying an operator when everyone else is broke. That can cripple the team for rounds. It's a shared resource. It needs careful planning.
So it's not just, can I afford this? But can we afford this? Coordinating buys is crucial. Don't buy full shields and a Vandal if your team's on light armor and classics.
Exactly. And you need to understand the different buy types. Like a force buy, getting the best you can with limited cash because you have to contest the round, versus a save round, buying almost nothing to guarantee a full buy later, knowing when to force, when to save, when to eco. That gives you a massive advantage over teams who just buy whatever they can each round. You're basically outspending them strategically.
That really is a game within the game. All right, let's talk impact plays. Smokes, ultimates, these can completely swing around or even the match.
Absolutely game-changing. Smokes from Omen, Brimstone, Astra, Viper, they're so versatile. Blocking sight is just the start. You can use them to cut off parts of a site, cover a plant or defuse, fake a rotation. The guide stresses using them offensively too, not just defensively. Isolate fights.
Yeah, like smoking off B main on split. Forces them down a narrow path right into your crosshairs. Simple, but effective. But I've seen bad smokes too. Smokes that help the enemy or blind your own team. How do you avoid that?
Planning helps. Think about where the enemy is looking from. Don't smoke in a way that gives them cover to push through unseen. A good smoke benefits your team, creates an advantage for you.
Right. And ultimates. These are the big guns.
Huge potential impact. The source focuses on the timing and the sheer tide-turning ability.
There's that great story in the guide, right? A 1v3 situation, team's down bad, player uses Phoenix's ult, gets aggressive without risk, gets 2 kills, plants the spike, wins the round, total momentum shift. Those moments feel incredible.
They do. And the key, again, is timing. Using that ult to start a push, to stop a push, to clutch around, using it at the right moment maximizes its value. A wasted ult is just painful.
And wrapping it all together right at the start of the match is agent selection. Picking the right agent for you, for the map, and for the team.
Yeah, it all connects, like Jet's mobility. Great for aggressive plays on open maps like Ascent. Cypher's traps. Amazing for locking down sites defensively on Bind. The guide actually suggests mastering maybe 1 or 2 agents really well, rather than trying to play everyone okay-ish. Deep knowledge beats broad, shallow knowledge here.
And it's about the team mix too, having that balance. Duelists for entry, sentinels for defense, controllers for smokes, initiators for info and disruption.
Exactly. Like a team with, say, Sova, Omen, Sage, and Jet. That covers most bases: intel, smokes, heals, aggression. Very versatile. It's about making the team more than the sum of its parts.
So what does this all mean? Let's bring it together. Mastering Valorant isn't just one thing. It's this complex mix. Individual skill needs to be sharp, teamwork needs to be seamless, like you said, predictive even, and your strategic thinking has to be smart and adaptable round by round.
Right. If you focus on clear comms, really learn those maths for prediction, hone your aim and movement, manage that economy smartly, and pick agents for synergy, you will see your win rate improve significantly.
And don't forget the power plays. Smokes and ultimates, they're not just buttons to press. They're tools that, used right, timed perfectly, can absolutely flip a match.
Definitely. The main takeaway from the sources seems to be stay flexible, work with your team like a single unit, and never stop learning, never stop refining your skills. Every match is a lesson.
Okay, final thought for everyone listening. Considering all this, what's one maybe unexpected strategy you've used or seen used against you that completely turned around you thought was lost? We'd love to hear about those game-changing moments in the comments.